What's up, everybody? Welcome to Let's Talk About It, where we uncover the joys, challenges, and surprising truths about modern dating. I'm your host, Bree, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most fascinating and, let's be honest, complicated dating landscapes in the world, Los Angeles. Earlier this year, just weeks before my birthday, I ended things with that ex that just would not go away. He wasn't ready for a serious commitment, and I knew I deserved better. Since then, I've been taking some time to reflect on my dating expectations and what I'm looking for in my next relationship. Living in Los Angeles, a city where finding a functioning relationship can feel like searching for a unicorn. I had countless conversations with friends about their dating challenges and experiences, and that's why I decided to start this podcast to figure out how to navigate the dating scene in LA. So, whether you're single, dating, or in a relationship, join me as we dive into the highs and lows of dating in this crazy, beautiful city. Let's get started. LA is known for its glitz, glamour, and grind. With over 4 million people calling it home, you'd think finding love here would be as easy as grabbing your morning coffee at a trendy cafe in Silver Lake. But the reality? It's a little more nuanced. We'll share some eye opening stats, hear stories, and perspectives from singles navigating this vast city, and get expert advice on how to thrive in the world of LA romance. Let's get into it. First, let's set the stage. According to census data, nearly 45% of adults in LA are single. That's a lot of fish in the sea. And with LA's incredible cultural diversity, the dating pool is about as colorful as it gets. But as many Angelanos will tell you, it's not all smooth sailing. One major challenge: the city's sheer size. LA spans over 500 square miles. That means if you live in Santa Monica and match with someone in Pasadena, you are practically committing to a long distance relationship. Another issue is time. LA is a city of dreamers and doers. With people hustling in industries like entertainment, tech, and startups, carving out time for a meaningful connection isn't always easy.
Los Angeles specifically is a special type of city, in my opinion. Um, People often move to LA to pursue big dreams. There's a lot of hopeful actors, there's a lot of hopeful entertainers, um, creatives, entrepreneurs. It has a really cool vibe because of that. Like, if you're chasing big things, you are in the right place in LA because there's people around you doing the same thing, and you can just kind of feed off that energy.
Mhm.
But that energy is a bit incompatible with settling down in a long term relationship, getting married, having children, the kind of more traditional lifestyle that some people dating might be hoping to find.
Then there's a paradox of choice. With so many options, especially on these dating apps, it can feel overwhelming to settle down with one person. In fact, according to the study by the Pew Research Center, nearly 30% of US singles actively use dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, making it one of the most digitally active dating markets in the States. Beth Fisher, a relationship and marriage trauma informed coach, talked about the challenge of having many options.
I think in that environment, people have to be selective, right? People
Mm,
can fall into traps. People can just latch on to somebody without really knowing them because
right,
there are so many opportunities,
right.
That's a lot of introspection, right?
Mhm.
That's where we have to really be aligned under our own values.
Right.
What makes me happy? So like if I'm meeting somebody for the first time, we
Right.
all have that gut instinct, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
oh, that person, oh, kind of gives me the creeps, or oh wow, I really connected with that person,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
So I think if we really want to start building healthy relationships, especially in the dating scene, I
mhm.
want to make sure that each person individually is what I call independently healthy.
But behind the stats are real people with real stories. And here's what a few singles had to say about navigating love in LA.
I think there are just a lot of insecure men out there.
Mm,
Um, I, I feel like to treat somebody, they're either insecure or um, they're just not interested in a relationship. So if you're just not interested in a relationship, why are you on dating sites saying that you're interested in a relationship?
What was your experience with dating apps? Have you tried any?
So I've been catfished like multiple times.
Do
Multiple
tell.
times.
Do tell.
I sometimes I want to like, do you guys realize like eventually you're gonna meet them in person? And
Right.
if you're using pictures from 10, 15, maybe even 20 years ago,
Right.
um, we're gonna notice that.
It's a sentiment many can relate to. Here's Cece with her own assessment from her dating experience.
I think that there's too many options, or there's the perception that there's so many options out here. And people in LA, just like they're kind of coming, not settling and moving through LA, like it's kind of a stop by city. And people are not necessarily planting a lot of roots here. I think people are not planting roots when it comes to dating either. People seem to be dating for sexual purposes, or dating for like situationships, or kind of dating for right now in this moment, this is what I'm feeling, versus I'm dating to marry, or dating from even like a traditional or cultural aspect.
I don't like, for me, I just don't like people to toot their own horn. Like they're too much entitled to something. Like you have to do this for me in order to but overall, LA's dating scene is probably the worst place to be at to
Oh,
date. Only because it's just like so many people have so many other things that they're focused on.
in the LGBTQ community, things seem to be slightly different, but yet so similar when it comes to finding that special someone. Here's KJ with his take.
My name is KJ. I am a financial analyst by day, content creator by night, a gay black male living in Los Angeles. And it has not been the easiest thing finding a man, finding a friend, and finding somebody to spend the night with and enjoy the holidays with.
Why would that be the case in the gay dating world?
I feel like it all goes based on to looks because, especially when it gets to the apps, in the gay community itself, you're looking at men. So everybody has a directly view of how they want a man to look. Like you can have a buff guy or you can have like a more smaller guy. Everybody's going to mostly want the buffer guy because they're going to want that like extra meat or extra, it's getting cold outside.
But not every story is about frustration. Here's Cassidy, a 26-year-old LA transplant from Portland who had a positive experience dating in the City of Angels.
It's definitely been different, but it's been a great experience. I'm someone that's very active, so I joined a bunch of clubs when I moved to LA. So I joined a run club, I joined a hiking group, and in my run club, I was able to meet someone I find to be very special to me. I probably met him about 2 months into living in LA, which is super wild to me. I didn't expect that. I did not expect to meet someone that quickly.
There's a common myth about dating in LA, which is the idea that everyone here is superficial. Yes, LA has a reputation of being image focused, but it's also full of people who are seeking deep and meaningful connections. In fact, many singles told me they value honesty and vulnerability above all else.
As far as expectations, I've always been a pretty much like, it's never like anything material too much for expectations. Just be a good person, make good decisions, be able to survive on your own, and be an independent person without being heavily dependent on others. And just have like, be funny, have like some personality about yourself, know how to navigate, and don't be kind of like a lost, bewildered deer.
Dr. Sarah Shevitz talked about self awareness while identifying red flags from others.
You kind of want to look at what's behind the identification. Is it a self-protective strategy and you're actually afraid of getting close to anyone? A lot of times people say they are ready for and want a committed relationship, but when they meet someone who has a secure attachment and is emotionally available and vulnerable and stable, it feels off. And that's often a sign that you might have some work to do on yourself to become more emotionally available and stable and available for vulnerable connection. So I think, if you're constantly searching for red flags, it's a sign that either your nervous system needs some soothing and it doesn't feel safe,
Yeah.
or, well, actually, either way, that's at the core of it. But
Right.
Either you don't feel safe or you are afraid to truly connect with someone and are constantly looking for ways to disconnect.
Another common myth, that dating apps don't work. While they can be frustrating, a data research by Michael Rosenfield of Stanford University shows that nearly 1/3 of married couples who met in the last decade did so online. Shocker, right? The key is using them as a tool, not the only way to meet people. Finally, there's a notion that no one is looking for commitment. While it's true that some prioritize their careers, many are actively seeking long term relationships. It's about finding those who align with your values.
But like, yeah, love will always come to you. It's like there's too many people out in the world for you not to find a soulmate at all. No matter how hard it is out here to even find love.
Yeah.
It's someone is always out there for you.
Coach Beth left us with some valuable gems to live by on our quest for finding love.
Number one, let's get independently healthy. Let's get independently healthy. And in order to do that, number two, what are your limiting beliefs? What are the fears that are running unconsciously? Because until we identify those,
Right.
they're going to be running. And again, we may not even know it. It's just this default pattern that we've been running probably since we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then number three, I would say, let's heal it. If you've got a fear of rejection or a fear of abandonment or a limiting belief like I'm not good enough, like so many people are walking around and they really don't feel their own value or their own worth.
Right.
So we want to identify those and heal them because everybody has immense value. Everybody
Yes.
does. And I want people to connect who both feel that they are of value so that
Right.
then they will intentionally support each other.
So, what have we learned? Dating in LA isn't for the faint of heart, but it's far from impossible. With patience, intention, and a little creativity, you can find meaningful connections even in a city as big and busy as this one. Thank you to everyone who shared their stories and to our experts for their insights. And thank you for listening. If you have a dating story, good or bad, or hilarious, we would love to hear it. Reach out to us on social media. My IG is Breemirla, that is BREEMIRLAH, or email us at BREETINGE@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next time, where we'll be exploring navigating girl friendships and sisterhood. Until then, this is Bree reminding you that love can be found in the most unexpected places. See you next time.